Good afternoon. You guys are gonna laugh so hard. So, my little girl is on my phone. She's 10. She's trying to film a Sephora haul. And I'm like, I need my phone because you're still on my Zoom. And she's like, "Hmm?" She's like, so I had to like kick off my phone just to do this. I'm like, it was crazy. Um, okay. So some of this I might have said in y'all's weekly, but since Bree's not here this week, she's gonna reschedule for the 19th and the 21st. So I'm like gonna get on with her on the 19th on 21st. I'll share the times. If you guys can't make it, I'll for sure post like the recording of it too, because we're gonna do live on my YouTube channel. So you can either join live on my YouTube channel or like y'all that'll live there forever. So that'll be super fun. We're gonna do food first, and then on the 21st, we're gonna do breast cancer. So we're totally gonna do female cancers. So she's gonna do the entire German new medicine perspective behind breast cancer, ovarian cancer, endometriosis, all that stuff. So I'm super excited about that because she's like her forte is cancer. But today this might be short and sweet. I just want to touch on questions, and then I also want to touch on or not questions, but questions about, anything that pertains to like minerals, any of that stuff, but also want to talk about forgiveness work and how I actually do that. I think because it's like the season for forgiveness, right? It's like the Easter season. So many of you guys might be doing like Easter rituals, Easter Sunday, like all that kind of stuff. And I was inspired over the weekend about forgiveness. So I want to like touch on that because I actually have two sets of couples that I'm counseling right now, and their biggest thing is like forgiveness. Like they can't like move forward because they both want to hang on to the past and they both want to hang on to just other stuff. Like they want to move forward with some sort of apprehension, which doesn't work. And so, um, okay, when it comes to health stuff, also a big, hang on, you guys. A big block that I see in people is oftentimes forgiveness. So, forgiveness, as in like you're coming under belief systems that are other people's ideas. So, a quick list, if you want to make a list, like if you think something about your body or your mind or your soul or your ability, like your ability to heal or your ability to change jobs or your ability to survive or sometimes even your ability to be happy, believe it or not. If you think that, then usually someone else either told you or showed you that that wasn't possible. And then it's important that you go and do the forgiveness work. So you forgive yourself for coming under that. You don't forgive yourself like in your childhood because as a child, you don't have the adult sound mind to figure all that out. So it's not like, oh, go back. And some people get into this like shame spiral of this like should have known this. And I kind of got stuck here when I was dealing with chronic illness and being trained by the doctor that trained me. He's like, forget childhood. He's like, when you're a child, you don't know what's going on. Now you're an adult and you have a sound mind. So wherever you've participated in it, still after the point where you accept Jesus Christ, or let's say you're out of your spiritual father or mother's house, or you accept, that now you're your own spiritual person past that fixed point, for most of us, it's like a baptism, right? Or a rebirth, or like you may be sitting in church or something, or sitting in a ceremony, and you're like, okay, like I fully know God is real. Like that would be what that point would be. And if some of you guys haven't had that point, that's totally fine. But after that fixed point, if you go back and participate in like things from childhood, childlike tendencies, ideas from childhood, then you're under that prophecy. So you've really not undone anything because that's not possible, but you have inserted whoever that is or yourself in the God position. So basically, how it works is, and when I was doing the forgiveness work, it was like, man, there's like a bajillion people on this list. You know what I mean? So it's really productive to make a list, like specifically pertaining to health. If somebody gave you a diagnosis, that's like a blanket one. Like if we were talking diagnosis wise, like you're autoimmune, you're, whatever. I mean, even like with my heart stuff, like I mean, I know Mary Julia, like you have infertility, so to speak, you know what I mean? Or with your heart stuff. Like my heart to date, still, I'm not 100% resolved about how that keeps moving forward. And that's okay. Like, I'm still in this place where I'm like, in this like uncomfortable middle of like, okay, well, there's definitely been changes. Like since we reprogrammed my pacemaker, there's been so many changes. And now, every now and again, I get like these crazy bouts of heart palpitations, except for now I don't run to the ER and call it anxiety. I just kind of casually observe what's going on. And I mean, because I haven't passed out yet or had a big issue, like I'm like, I think we're fine. And then I don't show a big issue on my scan. The only way I got to that point of not coming under more chaos and more authority and holding my position in it was writing down a list of basically every provider that I could think of. Like I pulled like my medical records who and saw who signed on them. Like I did a whole deep dive that had the opinion that my heart was defective. So, because that's a prophecy that I don't need, I call it provider prophecy, then it's important to forgive yourself for coming under that prophecy. So, literally, just, I'm Chelsea, only Chelsea, and I renounce or I don't think about or I don't care about that prophecy anymore. Like it means nothing to me in Jesus' name. That simple. And then, forgive the person. Same with like relational stuff, relationships. Like if you have a partner that's always doing just like a behavior pattern towards you, it's really important to like if you're going to stay and carry on in the relationship, that there's truly like a new day every morning. Because if not, you're going to get into this slippery slope of like autoimmune because you're gonna like kick up yourself into like you're gonna victimize yourself. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be hateful, you're gonna be resentful, you're gonna be angry. Like this is what I realized. Like it's really interesting that I have like operated in this in like the past 2 years, and me and my own only in the past 2 years, like to the fullest, like where I'm like, okay, every single day my husband is going to get a new chance with me. Like it's like it just is a thing. Like because we don't have any biggies. Like okay, like he's not like on drugs. He's never like he's never done adultery. Like he hasn't done that. But there has been quite a bit of like emotional disregard. Like there has been quite a bit of challenge when it comes to spirituality. Like I was super into church and for 8 years and he wasn't. And there was a lot of like not working together on that, just being like, okay, like he would be like, the whole church thing's so dumb. And I would be like, okay, well, your whole new age thing is so dumb. Like versus being like, okay, what can we both bring to the table here? And why are we both exploring in these avenues? Which we finally got into these conversations like 2 years ago. And in looking at that refining journey, I figured out I'm like, he broke me out of so much religious nature that I needed to be broken out of. Like almost everyone in the church was like, get a divorce. Like if you're unequally yoked, blah, blah, blah. Yet here we are keeping having these kids, having all this fruit, having all this provision. We have all this financial blessing. I'm like, y'all are wrong. And so it took me a long time to figure out what that looked like to move forward without judgment or to figure out how to unpack that. And it wasn't like, oh, I forgive him. It was like, okay, there's no sitting on the sidelines forgiveness. There's you get back in there and play the game. It was the same thing with my pacemaker. There was no never going to a doctor again and getting answers. It was okay, I got to sit in front of a doctor until I get a doctor that is going to say that he might believe that my heartbeat could be restored. And then once I got that from one person, I was like, okay, I'm forgiving all these people that didn't say that, and we're moving on. Like, we don't need those people, right? Because you need the truth. You got to fix your eyes on the truth. So many of us are really focused on what's not true that we don't have this open space for that. So, super interesting. Like, me and my, and on the partnership note, it's so funny. We always have these new layers of depth that happen. Like, I still have a problem with several things with us when it comes to like intimacy and stuff like that. But over the weekend we were at dance and it was so funny. He was like, I mean, he's like, Sunday, I'm gonna go to mass like in the morning while you guys are at dance. I'm like, okay. Neither one of us knew it was Palm Sunday because we're so removed from like religious nature. Like, and he literally got into this like 2.5 hour Catholic ritual, like for real, like the whole processional incense, handing of the palms, walking around the block. Like he was like, he called me, he's like, I am in the Bible. Like he's like, I am literally sitting like ancient times. Like women were like draped with lace, like in church. Like it was like, he was like, it was so moving. Like he went to this like downtown Hispanic speaking like Catholic church, which was like this huge old cathedral. Super fun. Y'all, it was so intense that he got, because he's such an outsider and the church was so close knit, he got armed security put on him. Like, like no lie, during church. Like, because like they were just like, what's this outsider doing here? It was amazing. But he was telling me about it and I was laughing. And like in the past, I'm laughing because I'm like, that would have just pissed me off. Like in the past, I would have been like, that is so dumb. Like, why are we doing this? Like, and then I realized I'm like, no, whatever. Like, if he wants to explore like his spiritual self and like go get into art and light therapy and, have the acoustics and have the whole experience, like, who am I to be like, no, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's great. And like, quite frankly, I'm in the religion of dance at the moment, perfectly happy, like getting some vodka with my friends first thing in the morning and hanging out. Like, I'm good. Like, I feel like I've gone back to like 2005. Like, we are complete role reverse. Like, I'm like on spring break and he's like in this Catholic ritual. It was like so hysterical to me because like 6 years ago, I would have been like, better get your ass in church or we're over. You know what I mean? It was to be like now just to see us in this place of like where like we're fine and don't have codependency, but we have more depth because we come back together and accept each other for like who we are. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I'm fine with you fleshing it out. Like I'm fine with you finding yourself again. And I'm like, I'm fine with you finding yourself again. Like it's like it's such an interesting place to get. So in that place, you also had to get there with your health, with your providers, with your parents. Like the cancer doctor that I trained under, and I did a phone call this weekend, which like inspired the call. He's like, cancer doesn't kill people. He's like, people's families kill people with cancer. And I was like, wow, like that's a pretty bold statement. He's like, no, for real. He's like, people's families want them to get in certain kinds of treatments, or they stress out about what they're doing, or they all have opinions. Like there'll be like 12 different opinions about how you should heal. And I was like, oh, that's legit. Like I've experienced that before. Like I totally understand that. Like family pressure, right? So it's important when you're like going through a healing journey or a health journey. If someone else doesn't get it, like that's okay. Like I'm doing this couples right now and I can't like one set of couples, it's like they're so cool because they let each other be each other and they're all about it and they just like try different things. And the other couple like is so busy judging each other for what they try that they can't even sit through a meeting. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's interesting. So what we're talking about is get to a level where like when you reapproach or something triggers you, I hate that word, but triggers you like, okay, I'm in a trigger about my health or about this diagnosis or oh this symptom showed up. Like there's really no planet where you're ever moving backwards ever. So it's an opportunity for forgiveness. It's like something that you haven't reconciled. So at that point the choice would be coffee enema, prayer, just a pause. I mean, you may be like, just some kind of a pause or, Jesus show me what I need to see here, which I think most of you are doing. I just want to, put this on a recorded call so you can listen to it over and over again. But it's like, Jesus, show me what I need to see here and make the rest none of my business. And then you're removing your judgment. You're kicking out other people's opinions. You're just kind of like narrow focus on what like the spirit has for you in that, right? And so that's where you get to that place of like clarity and health. I think it's like such a cool place to be. And if you're I know some of you have done like the burning thing that I was saying, but it is true. If it's helpful, write out like this person said this about me, name and thing. Like this person said this about me. Like I often am like, my dad legitimately does not believe that my heart can restore. Like he's like, he believes in like to a point. He's like, to a point, I believe in natural health, but he's like, there's just some things you need allopathy for. That's his mindset. I was in that belief system for like 4 years and I was really loving it because we reconnected when I had open heart surgery, he came to the hospital. He's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want you to be alone. And we had this beautiful kind of like connective thing. But the whole time he was there, I was like, oh, I don't know why I feel so edgy. And then I realized I'm like, our beliefs don't align in this. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh my gosh, I didn't want him around. It's like at that time I didn't know about energy and like releasing energy. So it's like, okay. And I have said to him since, I'm like he's like, you never fill me in on, well, one of the things, one of the patterns will happen is he'll call and be like, how are you? And I'll tell him. And then he'll be like, you never fill me in on your heart stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like I finally just said to him, I'm like, that's intentional. Like I know we're not aligned, like, and it's okay. God was like, I just can't hear your opinion that I might need a pacemaker forever. And I just cannot hear about nanobots and transhumanism and all the bullshit because I'm literally living that life. I've been in that life for 10 years. Like, if we want to worry about like a robot people, hi, that's me. I have a pacemaker. So stop telling me about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm right here helping people heal, being transhuman. Love that. Like, I used to tell him, I'm like, can't hear it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like, but because of connection, I would often like say that. And now I've realized after saying it, heart palpitations are less and less and less. And until saying that and doing that forgiveness work or just not coming under that authority, I didn't have like this weird spiritual open door to even anyone else agreeing. Like it was like this general sin thing, like or generational sin thing. Like after I said that to him, which was like the year before I found I was pregnant, was going to have the replacement surgery, or that's what I was told. So I had the replacement in June. I finally suddenly got in front of one nurse practitioner who was like, yeah, no, we've seen heart rates restore. He's like, we would just prefer to have pacemakers in there as preventative. And I was like, what? Like I was like, not one person in 10 years has told me this. Like, and he was like, well, yeah, like, I mean, and I was like, okay. So I was like, you mean to tell me you would have a pacemaker in someone's body for a little arrhythmia as a preventative? Like, think about that. I'm like, that's crazy. Because from a body standpoint, the body will be trying to reject a foreign body. It's just what happens. That's why when you have knee replacements, hip replacements, all that stuff, it doesn't always work. Or you have, stressors. You got to de-escalate the body's response. You got to tell the body it's safe at that part of the journey. And like that's where we had gotten all offsides because my heart was like, well, I don't really need a pacemaker. And I said it out loud so much on multiple podcasts and all this stuff that finally my heart literally started overriding the pacemaker. Like I had to have my pacemaker reprogrammed because my heart was like just doing its own thing. And the pacemaker would try to kick in. And then my heart would do these like flutters for like 20 seconds in a row, like every 20 hours. Like it was like crazy. And so that happened like after I had my baby, literally just recently. So my point is though, is it took 6 years and many, many layers to get there. Like so I just want to like, encourage you guys. It's not that in this 8 weeks you're going to be done and then you jump onto a new thing. It's like, this is literally what I found to be the way, the truth, and the life. And that's why it doesn't include a protocol or a big pill set or, a 90-day trial of XYZ supplement, because it really wasn't those things. Those things can be pathway openers, but ultimately it's your beliefs and who you're under. It's like who you agree with. So it's all the prophecy that is antichrist that affects your body and your biofield. So if you bring antichrist thoughts into your biofield and belief systems, you'll make them true for the connection. Like it's like if I want to connect to my family, if I want to not, the perception is lost, right? So I'll lose people if I don't agree with this, or control. Like the spirit, I don't know if that's enough. So if I don't do this, I'll do this. And that's not an easy walk. I mean, there's different degrees of people and personalities and all that stuff. And then there's like custody, there's different layers. But bottom line is we just can stand in the way of Holy Spirit or not. Like that's like the point where I've gotten to. And I'm like, just because though you have an intervention doesn't mean you're just screwed and you've set yourself back like forever. You know what I mean? Like it's interesting over the weekend. Oh my God, my husband had this like insane burger from Culver's. Like it just looked so freaking good. I bet I have not had a fast food burger, swear to God, in like 10 years ever. Like my kids eat fast food all the time. We eat like Panera. So yes, that's fast food, or we'll eat like Mexican, but I'm like an actual burger. I've just kind of been like, that's in the fast food category to me, even though I know that sounds ridiculous. So like he was like eating it and it looked so good. I was like, I want the whole burger. Like, are you going to be anxious the whole way home about eating the burger? I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, give it to me. I'm going to intentionally eat that burger. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you for not stressing about seed oils. I've been asking for that for like 6 years. I'm like, so I'm not going to stand here and like act like this, like, high and mighty anti-burger princess. Like, it's just like so. So it's like, but I don't know. In the spirit of Easter, I'm like the pomp and circumstance and everybody chasing this, like, how do I forgive the right way? It's like, it's not a thing. Just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just do it. Do it if you want to do it. Don't do it. There's no right verbiage. Like, I mean, if you can't do it, let's open pathways for sure. But just live your life. And as scenarios come up, be quick to forgive, be quick to react, be quick to move. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally in that living. Like, I told one of my couples today, I'm like, I mean, I use this analogy all the time, but he's like, just kind of like waiting for his, you know, girlfriend to get it together, some perception of get it together before they take the next step. And I'm like, okay, well, that's like learning to play soccer from watching TV and sitting in your living room in like a bubble and saying you know how to play soccer, but you're not on the field. Like you're not getting the bumps, the bruises, like you're not getting the wins, the loses, the highs and lows. Like you can't actually live life on the sidelines. That's head knowledge. I think that's what they talk about in the Bible. That's religious nature. That's like you're sitting on the sidelines observing life. And what do you feel? Disconnect. Like you're not going to get connected like that. If you're chasing it, you're not going to. And that's where all the gurus love for you to live. They're like, oh, yeah, if you live there, I can sell you the next solution. Like if you're disconnected, you will buy my shit. It's like, that's what drives me freaking crazy because I'm like, if you're out there busy living, you're too busy living to even like be distracted by all that stuff. You're just like, okay, like, I mean, and then whatever comes your way, you're like, all right, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, you try something, like, I'm trying functional mushrooms. It came my way. It's come my way for like 2.5 years. Like, right now, at this point, I'm just like, what's up? Is it cool? Like, if it's not cool, so what? I bought a 30-day course and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But I'm not like, lifering to the idea of functional mushrooms. In fact, the person that like said, and we're talking not psychedelics, but like reishi and stuff, but the person that came my way, she believes that she cannot live without them, which is fine. But I have already written on a piece of paper, Jesus showed me how to love, unconditionally and release her with forgiveness. Whatever's here for me, just give it to me. That's it. I don't care about what's there for her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting her in a guru position. I just care what's there for me for now. So, yeah, if you guys can approach like the next, you know, the next scroll session, the next doctor appointment, like the next even meeting with me, like all that stuff. Because I mean, I'm not perfect, but if you can approach your life like that and just like savor it from like a funny standpoint, a casual observer, like with this lightness, not like it's so serious. And if I make a wrong move, I'm screwed. You know what I mean? Like there's this big setback. I don't know about y'all, but that's my pattern. Like, I'm always like, oh, like what if? Like, what if I eat that burger and I feel like crap for 2 hours on the way home and blah, blah, blah. It just spirals out of control versus being like, okay, like, I mean, my husband's really hot now that he doesn't give a shit about being vegan. Like, all right, let's all eat burgers. Like, I'm into it. That's a different vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, sometimes we miss out on what we've been asking for so long, trying to be in that control position. So that's my inspiration for today is like the forgiveness work. A lot of people ask me how to do it. I just do it in the moment now. I do it in the moment. I don't think you can do it without revisiting the situation, right? I just don't. Like in our experience, we've had several things go down and after being in like a long-term marriage and a long-term custody agreement, which is like a second marriage, I'm like, it's just like one of the things is like you literally have to give the person a new chance when stuff arises. Like right now, I'm like, my ex-husband, you know, he doesn't have a son, and it's really, it's sad to me, but it's not sad enough to make it my burden. But I'm also like, if he wants his son back, like he gets his son. Like if he wants to make a change, that's fine. So we're like navigating that. And like I've like asked him to go to lunch, and he's like, prioritizing his job, which isn't hard, which isn't easy to see, but it's like, it's weird because I'm like, I had a hunch that he was thinking that, and I had a hunch about idols, but I didn't know until I asked again. Like, I'm like, if I never talk to him or never make the invite or never do whatever, I'm never going to get the clarity, right? Or I'm just going to be guessing. Like, I'm like, because for all I know, which that was my guess was like, oh, he's probably just gives a crap about work and he's just going to table this until someone else fixes it, which is fine. It was a casual observation, but that would have quickly become gossip or judgment had I never asked him and found out the truth. I could have texted him and he could have been like, yeah, let's get lunch on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like that would have been great too. Um, it's opening your mind to like, or your biofield or your body to the two possibilities. That's what I think people do wrong. I think we decide what's going to go down. We build a reality that feels safe around it. Like it's like if you get a diagnosis and you never go investigate um why it got there. Like that's the thing. I see a lot of people too resonate with cancer. It's like who gave you that idea? Cancer's a big one. Like who told you would get cancer? Chances are it's some doctor, parents, family member had cancer. Another one's mental illness. A lot of people resonate with mental illness or, brain stress or trauma or heart attacks, heart problems. Like comes up on my device all the time. If we can clear it with one round of metatherapy and you guys neuroprompting yourself that God's ideas are superior and it goes away, that means it was someone else's idea, right? That is not your body doing that. That is someone else told you that and you temporarily agree. So it's just really important to break those agreements and love your body for what it's doing for you. Like if you literally love your body for what it's, even if it's not performing straight away, like if you haven't seen the symptom resolution straight away, you won't get there though without the love for what the body's doing. So I think it's like super interesting. Like you can love the journey. Like, I mean, I might have a pacemaker forever. I don't know. I'm in the radical present, but I'm like, I'm in love with that journey now. Like I'm in love with figuring it out. Like I like when people tell me no. Like I find it amusing. I like when people tell me yes. Like I like when, there's one random witch doctor that I encountered last year and she was like, there's no way in hell you're ever going to have a heartbeat again. And I'm like, okay. And what's really weird was though under her influence and her doing the diagnostics, I didn't have one come through. So there must have been a little part of me that agreed with that. You know what I mean? Like I must have been like, yeah, I agree. Ended up that was like my dad's idea and like a poverty driven idea. So it's always important, you guys, if you pray and ask Holy Spirit to show you where that comes from, you will get the answer. Like if you're not praying to see where it comes from, you're afraid of the answer. So just be open to the answer. So hang on, you guys. I gotta plug in my computer. Carolyn said, how would you respond to a teenage kid diagnosed with ADHD? Hey, he has a label. Well, first of all, as a mom, you can refuse the label. So if you don't want to use ADHD, like you literally just don't. You can be like, right now, we don't know. Like there's some like neuro stuff going on, but who knows? Because there's a marketing idea attached to ADHD, right? And even if it is ADHD, you can use the idea if you want. Just make sure you don't idolize the diagnosis. So, like, if someone is ADHD, you decide are they ADHD or are they in an environment that fosters disconnect, distraction, stress? Like, where are the stressors? Like, my daughter is quote unquote ADHD when she's at school. At home, she's no more ADHD than anything. And guess what? She hates her Lutheran school. Like she's also a high intuitive kid and kids are like this. So this is how I do it with my kids. I simply like lay hands on them when they're sleeping or literally when they come into my presence. I just think to myself because thoughts become things. Like I just send in this pure intention. I'll be like, you're Lainey, only Lainey, and you don't need anyone right now's energy but your own. Because these high intuitive kids that get diagnosed with ADHD, they're usually picking up everyone's biofields and energy, and for whatever reason, taking it on. Like they feel like they have to take it on. And we like these kids encounter a lot. Like just in my kids' lives, there's a whole school full of adults, two sets of families. So there's, two different my biofield, my husband's, my ex-husband, his wife, her family, his family, the school. Like there's probably 50 different biofields around my kids at all times. And I'm not just talking about around them in the physical. I'm talking about spiritual influences, people praying shit they shouldn't be praying, people following them on Life 360. Like, it just the list goes on and freaking on. But the point is if you're purposely putting yourself in someone's biofield in life, they pick it up. Like we're like antennas, right? I could probably think really, really hard about Alex and she'd call my phone. Like, I mean, if we weren't on the phone, like I could probably, that's just how it works. Like, and so, you'll notice it a lot, but that's what I know to be true with my kids. So I either would just like lay hands on them when they're sleeping. And sometimes if I could really tell one of my kids is edgy, I'll be like, what is going on? Like, and they'll be like, I don't know, like I just had like a bad day or whatever. And I'll be like, okay, well, what, like, why? Like, did someone say something? It just happened to my daughter at dance. We were up at dance and there's, her teacher and her, while they're super close, her teacher's vibe is totally different. Her teacher's vibe is like, win or you're nothing. So we kind of combat that. And my daughter doesn't care. She's just like cutting up with like all her friends and hanging out. And it's a really interesting situation. So she literally was happy, happy, happy playing, leapt backstage, and then comes off stage bawling, crying. I was like, whoa, like what happened between the seats in the dance? Like that's like what went down? And she was like, nothing, I swear, but I'm not going on for my second solo, like blah blah blah. I was like, what? I'm like that. I know it's like 11 o'clock at night, which is crazy for 10-year-olds, but I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, and she was like, nothing. Well, I quickly did some like thinking and I'm like, okay, there's only one biofield she could come in contact with, and that would had to be her teacher, right? So I just literally told her, like, you don't have to have like a confrontation. I just told her, I was like, did Lexi say something? Did someone say something? And she was like, no, nobody said anything. And I was like, well, there's probably a vibe. Like there was like a vibe that like, you guys better rally. I mean, she has like a couple kids that are her little all-star dancers, which is fine. But I just said to her, I was like, listen, Jay, nothing that I think or your dad thinks or any of these people think or the judges or Lexi has to have anything to do with you. You can just go out there and have fun on your solo. And when you're done, go to bed. And she was fine, went out there, killed it, won, stopped crying, won the whole freaking competition. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they just need the permission to not take it on. And as moms, we have to give ourselves the permission to not take it on or be triggered or to stay neutral about it. Because what I normally have a problem doing is I get pissed off. I'm like, don't you bring a vibe to my child? You know what I mean? Like, and then before you know it, the vibe's stronger, right? Because it's homeopathy. Like attracts to like. So negativity pumps negativity. So it's like, I just like literally reset myself and I'm like, you can not go on stage if you don't want to, but like, I think that's pointless. I'm like, I wouldn't let people kill your vibe. And she's only 10. And she's like, well, okay. So, I mean, that's the deal. That's what I say. And with ADHD, that's particular. Like, if your teenager already believes in ADHD, like my teenager already believes that she's prone to injuries and everything else, I would be like, hey, when you guys are calm, I mean, when you're driving to Starbucks or, I mean, meet your teen where they're at. Don't be like, okay, we need to have a big, intense chat because your teen will be like, I don't even care what you had to say, right? They don't care. They think you're like super dumb. But when you're like driving to Starbucks or whatever, you get a moment. Oh my God, my office is swarming with wasps today, you guys. Um, just say there's a bumblebee in here. Just say to your kid, just say like, what's going on? Like if they say, oh, I am so ADD, like my kid will verbalize that to me. She'll say, I'm so ADD. I'm like, Lainey, you're not broken. Like maybe you're just in a system that sucks. Like I'm like, it's perfectly fine not to care about who ran China in 1814. So like that's it. Like I'm like, I tell her that all the time. And she's like, well, I have to care because I'm gonna get F's. I'm like, no, you don't. You can go be a real estate agent and have freaking F's. Like, I'm good. Like, get F's. I don't care. I'm like, and she was like, but I had to shelve myself. Like, I don't care if the school judges me. Do not care. Like I don't care. You know, it's often us that are writing our kids or generational people above us. So probably grandparents or whatever that are around us. Like, and at that point, then you just say to them, hey, like, I don't care. Like when my ex-husband's mom passive aggressively sits behind us in volleyball and is like, are you going to make him get out there to my ex-husband? I just laugh. I'm like, I'm not. Like, it's my custody time. So if he don't want to play volleyball, that's your problem that you drove 2 hours, not ours. You know, like you literally do have to be pretty ruthless in your disconnect, like I will say, if you want to stand against that stuff. But you don't have to be mean. Like my whole saying is usually, I love you and not conditional love. I'm usually like, I love you and that we're just gonna do us. Like we're not gonna do what you think. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not even confrontational. That's just what I say. I'm like, I love you, and we're not gonna do what you think. Like, or I'm not gonna make them do what. Or when they're being ADD, I'm like, Lainey, I love you, and if you want to be ADD, you can have that story, or you can realize that you're highly intuitive, you're super known by God, and that's that. Go figure that out. And I don't curate that for her. I just tell her and leave it at that. I used to curate like, here's all the ways you're known by God. Here's what we've done for you. That's the worst. Talk about shame. Like, screw that. Like I used to just tell her, like, because that's conditional love. That's like we pay all this for you to show you God. No. Like I just tell her straight up, I'm like, you're loved, you're known by God. You go see it. And like now she's looking for it. You know what I mean? She's not looking for it in me because I'm like a flawed human. She's not looking for it in a teacher. She's like looking for how she is that, you know? So it's like I feel like any diagnosis, doesn't matter if your kid is cerebral palsy, autoimmune, ADD, whatever. And but most of the time, neurodivergent or neurostress is liver stress. It's unforgiveness. It's usually anger and rage, and usually environmental because the kid usually knows better. Or let's say there's discord between the parents and the kids hate it, or the kids like they're highly intuitive and a parent's not fostering that gift. Or worse would be a parent might be not letting them be who they need to be. You know what I mean? And if you have done that, it's real simple. You just have to, well, it's not real simple, but the only way through is to reset that dynamic and be like, okay, from this point forward, like you're allowed to just be you. You know, that's what we had to do with Lainey. I built Lainey's entire life, a life that I thought Lainey should be, like that I thought she wanted, that I honestly thought was genuinely good. But what happened is that she never learned how to build one herself. You know what I mean? Like she never like got that. So it took her until sophomore year to figure out like what do I wear? What do I like? Like how do I talk to people? Like what am I like around friends? And she would always be like, I'm so annoying. And I would be like, you're not annoying, like you're perfect. And then I realized I'm like, I would ask her, I'm like, what do your friends say about you that you're annoying? And she'd be like, I don't know. They say like I can't make decisions, or they say like I don't know things, or they say I'm like dumb. And I'm like, well, look at us curating your whole life, putting you in a Lutheran school, telling you how you need to be, telling you you're going to be a gymnast. Like, no, she wanted to play with cats and be a scientist and be in her sandbox, and we were just psycho. Like, so she really wasn't like, I mean, not destined for stuff, but we curated like her whole childhood. You know what I mean? Whereas now with my kids, I'm like, face the pain. My son, literally, he was in traveling baseball. He whined around because all his friends were in it. Said he wasn't gonna have any more friends anymore. He's 13. I'm doing it so differently now. It's like, listen, if you're not game on for traveling baseball, I'm not. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm like, you can sit at home and figure it out. And he's like, what do you mean? I could like play video games all day. I'm like, if that's what you want to do over the summer, it sounds terrible, but I'm like, if you would like to do that, like, go for it. I was like, but we're not going to force you to play travel ball. And he's like, well, everybody's going to be mad. And I was like, nope, I'm going to be pumped. I would rather lay at my pool than go to the baseball field with you in the blazing hot sun. while you don't want to be there. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, okay, so we pulled him from travel ball and now he's like resetting all his friendships. And I can say, as a teen, he's thriving because he had some choice in it. Like, my initial reaction though was like, hey, you're playing. We spent the money, blah, blah, blah. Finally, I told my husband, I'm like, you know what? We'll write off all the fees. We'll donate it to the organization. Who cares? I'll write off on my taxes. I'm not doing this to this kid. You know what I mean? Like, he don't want to be a baseball player. Yay. You know, like, I don't care. But it takes stripping down your own idols. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I mean, it's your own idols, your own stuff. So hopefully that answers that question. Any diagnosis, y'all approach it that way. In any diagnosis, get really curious. Be like, okay, why are we buying into this? You know what I mean? Like, what here do we believe? You know, like Sarah, I'm gonna use you as an example. It's like, you know how me and you, myself too, we had that loop, and I'll wrap it up with this, as we're like the firstborn kids, right? So we have to shoulder all these burdens and it's like so hard and all this stuff. It's like even that belief system that it has to be hard is so interesting. After me and you talked about it, I'm like looking at that within my own self too, because I'm like, why do I have to make my life like complicated in certain areas at all? It's like, because we had all these marketing ideas about birth orders and all this stuff. While it's not wrong, looking at it like God made some mistake is the wrong part. So it's like, if I have a high capacity to juggle a lot, be a mom, nurse, run a company, handle the finances in my house, I shouldn't apologize for it. Like, y'all, I will upload a picture to the group. This is no lie. I looked at my husband today who's leaving for work. He is a contractor, okay? He had on flip-flops, board shorts, like he was going surfing, some freaking cute t-shirt, colored therapy glasses, a man backpack, a crossbody that was vegan leather. I like looked at him, I'm like, where on God's earth are you going to contract today? Like, I just literally do not know in the Midwest where you are going to do some contracting today, dressed like that. And he was like, what? Isn't it like so cute? I was like, it is so cute, but it is so not on brand. Like, that cracks me up. I was like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, but then I laughed because I'm like, I mean, he's just gonna be him. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like, I'm like, he's gonna go and paint houses and German schmear and like looking like a surfer that just rolled in from New Zealand. Like, that's hilarious to me. Like, I'm like, and if he can pull it off, like I told him, I was like, well, you better go full on. If you're gonna pull this look off, like, let's get t-shirts and let's just go with this look, because that is cracking me up. He's just like, but my point is, like, he's so unapologetic. It like inspires me. I would be like, okay, where's my logo t-shirts? Where's my stuff? Like, where's, like, I feel like had the decked out wrap trucks. Like, I cannot do that. And he does not care about image whatsoever. And it's like, my daughter's a lot like that too. And that's those people never fall under diagnoses. They're always like, I don't care. They do not care. And how everybody, like a lot of people in this group, including myself, come up with that R marking frequency. That's what you strip down when you, like, not that you had to go to the extreme, but that's what you strip down, right? That's where you're like, okay, like, I can relax a little. Like, I can just be myself, whatever that looks like. If that's a different pair of clothes, if that's a different routine, like whatever that is, or if it's some kind of like unapologetic version of you, like in your diagnosis that no one understands. You know what I mean? Like, with my friends are like, "Oh, you have a heart thing, you have a pacemaker." I'm like, I don't though. And that's okay. Like, we don't have to chit chat about it. Like, I'm like, they think I'm crazy. They're like, there's no way. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for your belief systems, but I'm fine. Like, like, it's like you do have to get that radical. So anyway, I recorded this. I'm going to jump to my next one because it's in a minute. But if y'all have any other questions, ping me in the group. And y'all, while you're doing your enemas, think about any prophecy that you've come under that is ridiculous and start to get really curious about it and be like, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, because it is literally that fluid. You do not have to do that. And then be like, what is fueling that? So, like, what am I participating in that is keeping that justified, right? What habits, what relationships, like, what where am I unwilling to show up as my authentic self because I'm stressed about it? And then where can I forgive myself for doing that and then forgive, everybody else and just free myself? Because if forgiveness is real and if the love is real between you with someone, you ought to be able to have that and there will be no negative pushback. The fear is just the people that we've tied to with like the love that's not real, you know? Like, it's like, luckily, my family has gotten to a place where I can be whatever I want to be. And they're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, we just won't talk to you about it. Okay, good. Like there should be no pushback. If you're getting disinvited and all that stuff, or in relationship, if it doesn't work for your relationship, well, it might be time to evaluate that. Like I'm like, you've got to let people be people, or autoimmune's on the other side. So that's how it always works. Okay. Love you guys. I'm gonna jump to my appointment. I'm excited and get this teething baby. Hopefully he'll settle down at some point. Bye.
Bye.
See y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome. Always.